Every conversation in the Costello ballroom dies for exactly 3 seconds when I walk through the doors. Even the string quartet misses a note. I count it. 1, 2, 3, before the noise rushes back in like a wave. But the damage is done. Everyone has looked. Everyone has seen. Everyone, including Vittorio. I am a stranger, I suppose. The woman he knows wears gray and disappears into corners. She doesn't wear crimson silk that clings to every curve. She doesn't leave her hair down in dark waves past her shoulders. She doesn't walk into a room like she owns it. But tonight, I'm not his shadow. Tonight, I'm the light that blinds. And that light was about to get shut off. Let me take you back to 3 days earlier. Before the gala, I almost didn't leave alive. My hands don't shake anymore when I photograph blood-stained documents at 3 in the morning. They stopped shaking exactly 2 years, 4 months, and 16 days ago. The anniversary of the day I found my sister's name buried in a police report marked collateral damage. Maria Bennett, age 23, caught in crossfire during a territorial dispute. Case closed. No arrests made. The report didn't mention that she was reaching for her dropped grocery bag when the bullet hit, that she'd been wearing a yellow sundress because she had a job interview that afternoon, that she looked exactly like Councilman Rodriguez's assistant, who was the real target, a fact the police knew and buried. Tonight, I'm in Vittorio Marchetti's private office, and the document under my phone's camera shows a wire transfer for $200,000. The recipient? The same police captain who signed Maria's death certificate. The flash is off. My breathing is silent. I've done this 83 times over 3 years, and I've never been caught because I learned something important. People only see what they expect to see. And they expect to see me invisible. Ms. Bennett? I don't flinch. My phone is already back in my suit pocket. The document returned to its exact position. Northwest corner, 3 inches from the desk lamp. I turn slowly, face composed. Vittorio stands in the doorway of his private bathroom, dress shirt half buttoned. His eyes are dark, not with suspicion, but something else. Something I've learned to ignore. You're still here, he says. You have the Castellano meeting at 7. The files needed to be organized. My voice is steady, professional, bored even. It's 3:47 a.m. I've worked for Vittorio the Wolf Marchetti for 3 years, 2 months, and 9 days. In that time, I've worn exactly one style of clothing: gray suits, white blouses, hair pulled back so tight my scalp aches, minimal makeup, flat shoes. I've made myself into wallpaper, and wallpaper is powerful because nobody questions what it sees. Go home, Isadora. He finishes buttoning his shirt, and I notice his hands, steady, controlled, the hands of a man who's never been afraid of anything. Even shadows need rest. The nickname makes my stomach twist. He started calling me that 6 months ago. His shadow, because I'm always there, always watching, always 2 steps behind him. If only he knew I was actually 2 steps ahead. I'll leave the files on your desk, I say, already moving toward the door. But I have to pass him, and the office suddenly feels smaller. He smells like expensive cologne and copper, probably from counting money that's been passed through too many dirty hands. I keep my eyes forward. Isadora. I stop. I shouldn't, but I do. Thank you, he says quietly, for staying late. Again. Here's what nobody tells you about revenge. It gets complicated when your target treats you like a human being. When he remembers you take your coffee black with 1 sugar. When he gives you Christmas bonuses that are more than your sister made in 6 months. When he looks at you like you're not just his assistant, but someone he actually sees. I hate him for that most of all. It's my job, Mr. Marchetti. I don't turn around. Good night. I make it to my car before the shaking starts. It always waits until I'm alone, like my body knows it can't afford weakness in his presence. I grip the steering wheel and count backward from 100 in Italian, a language I learned specifically because it's what his men speak when they think nobody's listening. My apartment is 40 minutes away, but I don't go home. I drive to a 24-hour diner on the edge of the city and order coffee I won't drink. Then I upload tonight's photos to 3 separate encrypted servers, each one backed up to locations Vittorio's people will never find. The evidence is almost complete. 3 years of bank records, shipping manifests, photographs, audio recordings, every bribed official, every dirty cop, every politician who's taken Marchetti money in exchange for looking the other way, while people like my sister die. I have them all. Or almost. There's one connection I haven't made yet, the link between the Marchetti family and the mayor's office. I know it exists. I've seen the money move, watched Vittorio take calls he immediately deletes, noticed how certain city contracts always go to Marchetti-owned companies. But I need proof. Concrete. Undeniable proof. And I'm running out of time. My FBI contact, Agent Sarah Chen, has been pushing me to close the case. 3 years is too long undercover, she said last week. You're getting too deep. We can prosecute with what we have. But what we have won't touch the real power. The politicians who use families like the Marchettis as weapons, who profit from the violence and walk away clean while men like Vittorio take the fall. I want them all. The diner's TV flickers to life. Morning news. A charity gala announcement. The Costello Foundation, benefiting underprivileged youth, hosted by the city's elite. And there, on the screen, is the guest list. Every single name I've been chasing. The mayor, 3 city councilmen, the police captain, 2 state senators, and Vittorio Marchetti, listed as a generous patron of the arts. The gala is in 3 days. My phone buzzes. Agent Chen, this is your shot. All targets in one location. We need eyes, ears, photos. Can you get an invitation? I type back. Already have one. Vittorio's assistant always attends to handle logistics. Her response is immediate. Good. But Isadora, you need to be visible this time. These people notice wallpaper when it's gone, but they talk freely around decorations. Make yourself noticed. Make yourself memorable. Let them look at you so they don't see you listening. I stare at her message for a long time. For 3 years, I've been invisible by choice, by design, by necessity. Agent Chen is asking me to do the one thing I've carefully avoided: be seen. When I get home, I walk to the back of my closet, past the row of identical gray suits. There's a garment bag I haven't touched since I took this assignment. Inside is a dress I bought the week before I applied to work for Vittorio, back when I thought I'd need it for some fancy undercover operation. I pull it out. Crimson silk, fitted, the kind of dress that doesn't whisper. It shouts. I haven't worn color in 3 years, haven't worn anything that would make someone look twice. The dress feels like fire in my hands. I think about Maria in her yellow sundress, excited about a future she'd never have. I think about how she'd laugh if she could see me now, hiding in gray like a ghost, afraid to be noticed. Make them look at you, Agent Chen said. I hang the dress on my bedroom door, where I'll see it every morning for the next 3 days. 3 days until the gala. 3 days until I stop being invisible. 3 days until I walk into Vittorio Marchetti's world wearing red and finally take everything from the people who took everything from me. My hands shake again as I set my alarm, but this time, it's not from fear. Every conversation in the Costello ballroom dies for exactly 3 seconds when I walk through the doors. Even the string quartet misses a note. I count it. 1, 2, 3, before the noise rushes back in like a wave. But the damage is done. Everyone has looked. Everyone has seen. Everyone, including Vittorio. He's standing near the bar, mid-conversation with a state senator, and the champagne glass in his hand cracks. I hear it from across the room, a sharp sound that cuts through the music. Blood wells up on his palm, but he doesn't seem to notice. He's staring at me like I'm a stranger who's walked in wearing his dead wife's face. I am a stranger, I suppose. The woman he knows wears gray and disappears into corners. She doesn't wear crimson silk that clings to every curve. She doesn't leave her hair down in dark waves past her shoulders. She doesn't walk into a room like she owns it. But tonight, I'm not his shadow. Tonight, I'm the light that blinds, Isadora? His voice reaches me even through the crowd, rough with something I can't name. What are you? But before he can finish, someone else intercepts me. I don't believe we've met. The man is handsome in a dangerous way. Sharp jaw, calculating eyes, expensive suit that doesn't quite hide the muscle underneath. He offers his hand. Rafael Dominguez. I work with Mr. Marchetti. I know exactly who Rafael Dominguez is. Vittorio's underboss. Ambitious. Ruthless. According to my intelligence, he's been quietly building alliances to take over the Marchetti organization. I've heard him on the phone making promises to men who should fear him. Isadora Bennett. I take his hand. His grip lingers a second too long. I'm Mr. Marchetti's assistant. Assistant? He says it like the word amuses him. I've seen you in the office. You look different tonight. I clean up well. His laugh is warm, but his eyes are cold. Dance with me. I want to know what else you've been hiding. I should say no. I should find my targets, plant the recording devices I've got hidden in my clutch, get the photographs Agent Chen needs. But Vittorio is walking toward us now, weaving through the crowd with single-minded focus, and something reckless in me wants to see what he'll do. I'd love to, I tell Rafael. His hand settles on my waist, and we move onto the dance floor. Rafael is a good dancer, smooth, confident, the kind of man who's used to getting what he wants. So, he says, pulling me closer than necessary. 3 years working for the Wolf, and I've never heard you speak more than 10 words. Now you show up looking like this. What changed? Maybe I got tired of being invisible. Well, you've succeeded. His eyes drift down, then back up. Every man in this room is watching you, including Vittorio. I risk a glance over Rafael's shoulder. He's right. Vittorio has stopped mid-approach, maybe 10 feet away, and he's just watching. His jaw is tight. His hands are clenched. The blood from the broken glass has stained his white shirt cuff, and he still hasn't noticed. He looks angry, I observe. He looks jealous, Rafael corrects. I've worked for Vittorio Marchetti for 7 years, and I've never seen him look at anyone the way he's looking at you right now. My heart does something complicated in my chest. He's probably just surprised. I'm supposed to be managing the coat check, not dancing. Is that why you came tonight? To manage coats? Rafael's hand slides lower on my back. Or did you come to make someone realize what they've been missing? Before I can answer, a hand clamps down on Rafael's shoulder. May I cut in? Vittorio's voice is silk over steel. Rafael's smile sharpens. We're in the middle of a dance. And now you're done. It's not a request. For a moment, I think Rafael might refuse just to prove he can. Then he steps back, hands raised in mock surrender. Of course, though I hope we can continue our conversation later, Isadora. He walks away, and suddenly I'm alone with Vittorio in the middle of a crowded ballroom. Dance with me. His hand is already on my waist, pulling me close before I can respond. We move to the music, but there's nothing smooth about it. His grip is too tight. His breathing is too fast. You're bleeding, I say, nodding at his hand. He glances down like he's forgotten it exists. It's nothing. You should get it. Since when do you dress like that? The question comes out harsh, almost accusatory. I meet his eyes. Since I decided to. You're here representing me tonight. This isn't appropriate. Something hot flares in my chest. 3 years. 3 years of swallowing my anger, my grief, my hatred. 3 years of being exactly what he wanted. Quiet, efficient, invisible. I've represented you for 3 years, Mr. Marchetti. I keep my voice level, but I don't look away. Every day, every night, every missed holiday and canceled plan, tonight, I'm representing myself. His eyes darken. Everyone is looking at you. Good. Rafael was touching you. He asked me to dance. I said yes. He wants... Vittorio cuts himself off, jaw working. You don't know what men like him want. Don't I? I challenge. I've worked for men like him, like you, for 3 years. I know exactly what everyone wants: power, control, things they can own. His hand tightens on my waist. Is that what you think I want? To own you? The question hangs between us, dangerous and electric. Around us, other couples waltz, oblivious to the battle happening in the spaces between our words. I think, I say carefully, that you're used to everyone in your life being exactly where you put them. And tonight, I'm not where you expected me to be. No, he agrees, his voice dropping lower. You're not. The song ends. We should step apart. We don't. I have work to do tonight, I tell him. If you'll excuse me. What work? The same work I always do, making sure your evening runs smoothly. I try to pull away, but his grip doesn't loosen. Isadora. Something in the way he says my name makes me pause. Not my full name like always, formal and distant. Just Isadora, like it means something. Let me go, Vittorio. I've never called him by his first name before. I see the moment it registers. His eyes widen slightly, his breathing hitches. Then Senator Morrison approaches, and the spell breaks. Marchetti, we need to discuss the harbor development contract. Vittorio's hand finally releases my waist. Senator? Of course. But as I walk away, I feel his eyes on me. I feel them for the rest of the night. I plant 4 recording devices in 3 separate locations. I photograph 6 different men passing envelopes under tables. I get the police captain on camera, accepting what looks like a payment schedule from the mayor's chief of staff. Agent Chen is going to love this. But halfway through the night, I step onto a balcony for air, and Raphael follows me. You're good, he says, leaning against the railing beside me. My blood goes cold. Excuse me? At playing whatever game you're playing. He lights a cigarette, and the flame illuminates his face. I've been watching you all night. You're not managing anything. You're hunting. I force a laugh. That's quite an imagination. Is it? He blows smoke into the night air. See, I've been accessing Vittorio's private files for months now, building my own insurance policy. And I noticed something interesting. Someone else has been in those files too. Someone with access to his office at strange hours. Someone careful enough not to get caught. My heart is pounding, but I keep my face neutral. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you don't. His smile is all teeth. Here's the thing, Isadora, or whatever your real name is. I don't care what you're doing. In fact, it might be useful. When I take over the Marchetti organization, I'll need someone with your particular skills. Raphael, think about it. He drops the cigarette, crushes it under his heel. Work for me instead. When I take control, you'll have real power, not just fetching coffee and filing papers. Actual influence. He's offering me exactly what I'd need to complete my case. Access to his coup plans, evidence of his conspiracy. And if I refuse? I ask. His eyes harden. Then I tell Vittorio what you've really been doing in his office. Wonder how long you'd survive that conversation. Before I can respond, the balcony door opens. Vittorio steps out, and the temperature drops 10 degrees. Get away from her. His voice is deadly quiet. Raphael doesn't move. We were just talking business. I said get away from her. Why? Raphael's smile turns cruel. You've never cared what your assistant does before. What makes tonight different? She's not just my assistant. The words fall like stones. All 3 of us freeze. Raphael laughs, but it sounds shocked. You can't be serious. 3 years, and now you leave. Vittorio's hand moves to his jacket, where I know he keeps a gun. Before I make you. Raphael raises his hands, backing toward the door. This just got very interesting. His eyes find mine. Think about my offer, Isadora. You're going to need friends soon. He disappears inside, and suddenly it's just us. The music from the ballroom feels distant, muffled. What did he want? Vittorio demands. Nothing. Don't lie to me. Why not? The words escape before I can stop them. Lying is what we do, isn't it? You lie to everyone about what you really are. I lie about who I really am. We're all just wearing costumes to this party. His eyes search my face. Who are you, Isadora? The question hits harder than it should, because he's asking something deeper than my name or my background check. He's asking about the woman in red who isn't his shadow anymore, the woman who danced with his enemy and didn't flinch. I'm someone who's tired of being invisible, I tell him. That's all you need to know. That's not all I need to know. He steps closer. I need to know why Raphael was threatening you. I need to know why you've changed. I need to know. His phone explodes with messages, all at once, like an alarm. He pulls it out, and I watch his face drain of color. What is it? Security breach. His voice is tight. Someone accessed my private servers during the gala. Raphael's making his move. Tonight. Around the city, his men are being ambushed. I can see it in the messages flooding his screen. He looks at me, and something in his expression makes my chest ache. Go home, Isadora. Get as far away from me as possible. Things are about to get very dangerous. I should leave. I should take my evidence and run. This is my out. Let them destroy each other while I disappear. But I think about Maria in her yellow dress. I think about 3 years of carefully built plans. I think about how close I am to finishing this. And I think about the way Vittorio said, she's not just my assistant, like the admission cost him something. No, I hear myself say. What? I'm not leaving. My voice is steady, even though nothing else is. Take me with you. You don't understand. I understand that whatever happens tonight changes everything, and I'm tired of standing in the shadows while men like Raphael and those politicians in there decide who lives and dies. The truth burns on my tongue. Take me with you, or I'll follow you anyway. He stares at me for a long moment. Then, impossibly, he laughs, but it sounds broken. Since when do you give me orders? Since tonight. Since I put on this dress and decided to stop being who you expected me to be. His hand comes up, almost touching my face but stopping just short. You have no idea what you're asking for. Then show me. The words hang between us, heavy with meanings neither of us can afford to examine. Finally, he nods once. Stay close to me. Don't leave my sight. If I tell you to run, you run. Understood? Understood. We head back through the ballroom together, and every head turns to watch us leave. I catch Agent Chen's eye across the room. She's here undercover as a caterer. Her expression is clear. What are you doing? I don't have an answer. All I know is that I walked into this gala in a crimson dress planning to destroy Vittorio Marchetti. But now we're walking into danger together, and I have no idea who's going to survive the night. His hand finds mine as we push through the exit doors, and I don't pull away. If you're enjoying the story so far, like and subscribe to join our community if you're a supporter of love stories that warm your heart. Vittorio slams his office door so hard the frame cracks, but when he turns to face me, his hands are shaking worse than the door. I've never seen him shake before. Not once in 3 years. Not during high-stakes negotiations, not when federal agents raided his warehouse, not even when his father died and he inherited an empire he never wanted. But right now, standing in his private office at 4 a.m. with blood still on his shirt and my crimson dress torn at the hem from our escape through the service entrance, his hands won't stay still. Since when do you dress like that? The question explodes out of him. Since when do you let men like Raphael touch you? Since when do you look at me like... He stops, runs a hand through his hair. Who are you? I stay by the door. Every instinct I've honed over 3 years screams at me to run. His men are scattered across the city, fighting Raphael's coup. The police are probably on their way. This building isn't safe, but something keeps me rooted to this spot. You want to know who I am? My voice comes out calmer than I feel. Really? Everything about you is calculated. He's pacing now, caged animal energy. The suits, the silence, the way you fade into the background. You've been performing for 3 years, haven't you? Playing a role. So yes, I want to know, who the hell are you really? I reach into my clutch. His hand moves toward his gun, pure instinct. But I pull out a photograph instead. Her name was Maria Bennett. I hold up the picture. My sister at her college graduation, yellow cap and gown, smile that could light up a room. She was 23 years old. She wanted to be a teacher. She loved terrible romance novels and made the world's worst pancakes and sang off-key in the shower. Vittorio's face drains of color. 3 years ago, she was walking home from a job interview. She was wearing a yellow sundress because it was her lucky dress. She'd worn it the day she got her degree. My hands stay steady, even though my voice wants to break. She bent down to pick up a grocery bag she'd dropped, and someone shot her in the chest. Isadora. The bullet wasn't meant for her. I step closer, and he doesn't move. It was meant for Councilman Rodriguez's assistant, a woman who looked just like Maria, who'd agreed to testify about bribes Rodriguez had taken from organized crime families. His jaw clenches. You didn't pull the trigger. I know. Another step. But you know who did, and you know who made the call, and you know which police captain buried the investigation and marked it collateral damage, like my sister was a statistic instead of a person. I pull out my phone. 3 years of work at my fingertips. I know about every dirty politician you've paid off. I start swiping through photos. Every cop on your payroll, every judge who's taken Marchetti money, the offshore accounts in Malta and the Caymans, the shipping manifests showing weapons moving through your warehouses, the contracts with construction companies that only exist on paper. Each photo that appears on my screen makes his face harder. I know about the state senator, who owes you $3 million, the mayor's chief of staff who tips you off before raids, the federal prosecutor who's been killing investigations for 5 years. I look up at him. I came here to destroy you, Vittorio, and everyone who protected you while people like my sister died. The words land like punches. He takes them without flinching. Tonight, I finally got the last piece. I gesture to my torn dress. 4 recording devices, 37 photographs, enough evidence to bring down every corrupt official in this city. I head for the door. And now I have everything I need. So thank you for 3 years of employment, Mr. Marchetti. It's been illuminating. My hand touches the doorknob. I know. 2 words. Quiet. Devastating. I freeze. I've known who you are for over a year, he continues, his voice careful and controlled. Since you got too close to the Malta account and used your real credentials by mistake. Your FBI handler isn't as careful as she thinks she is. The world tilts sideways. You're lying. Agent Sarah Chen, 5'6", scar on her left hand from a training accident. She drinks too much coffee and meets you at that diner on Maple Street. He recites it like he's reading from a file. You upload your evidence to 3 servers, 1 in Iceland, 1 in Switzerland, 1 in Japan. Your apartment is at 2847 Oak Avenue, Unit 4B. You keep your sister's photo on your nightstand, and you can't sleep without the window cracked open. My legs feel weak. How long have you known? 14 months, 3 weeks, 2 days? The specificity guts me. Your men asked for orders to eliminate me. It's not a question. 3 times. He walks to his desk, pours 2 glasses of whiskey with hands that are finely steady. I refused every time. Why? The word rips out of me. I'm a federal informant building a case against you. I'm everything you should want dead. He holds out one of the glasses. I don't take it. Because somewhere between your 3rd week and your 3rd year, the woman who wanted to destroy me became the only person I've ever trusted. He sets the glass down. Because you're the only one who's never asked me for anything, never wanted my money or my power or my protection. You just wanted the truth. I wanted justice. Same thing, isn't it? His smile is bitter. Justice for your sister. Truth about the system that killed her and buried the evidence. He pulls out a folder from his desk. slides it across to me. What is this? Files you thought you stole. I left them for you to find. He opens it. Meeting transcripts you thought you recorded secretly. I made sure the right names were mentioned. Another page. Bank statements showing political bribes. I backdated the security footage so you could photograph them. I stare at the evidence of my entire case. Evidence he fed me. You've been helping me. My voice sounds hollow. Why? Because I'm tired. The admission seems to cost him. I'm tired of being controlled by politicians who treat my family like attack dogs, who decide who we hurt, who we protect, who we destroy. They profit from the violence and walk away clean while we take the risk. He moves to the window, looking out at the city that owns him. My father built an empire on lies. He told me we were kings. His reflection in the glass looks haunted. We're not kings, Isadora. We're slaves. Expensive, dangerous slaves on a leash held by men in $1,000 suits who've never bloodied their hands. So you decided to burn it down. I'm trying to understand. Using me. I decided to help the one person brave enough to try. He turns back to face me. Every corrupt politician you wanted to expose, I want them gone too. I want to cut the leash, even if it means cutting my own throat in the process. Why tell me now? Because you were about to walk out that door thinking you'd won, thinking you'd outsmarted the wolf. His eyes lock on mine, and I couldn't let you leave believing I never saw you. The air between us feels charged, dangerous. I see you, Isadora. He takes a step closer. I've seen you since the day you walked into my office with your fake credentials and your real rage. I've watched you pretend to be invisible while being the most visible person in every room. I've seen you bite your tongue when my men said something cruel. I've seen you working at 3 a.m. because you can't sleep through the guilt of getting close to someone you're supposed to hate. Another step. I've seen how you take your coffee and how you mouth the words when you're reading reports and how you fidget with your watch when you're nervous. His voice drops lower. I've seen you in gray suits designed to make you disappear, and I've thought every single day that you were the most beautiful thing in my world. My breath catches. And tonight, when you walked into that gala in red, he stops inches away from me. Everyone else finally saw what I've been seeing for 3 years, and watching Raphael touch you, watching every man in that room look at you like they just discovered something precious. Stop. I can't. It sounds like a confession. I've been in love with someone who hates everything I am, and maybe if I help you burn it all down, I can finally be someone worthy of the way you looked at Raphael tonight. The words hang in the air between us. I looked at Raphael, I say quietly, because I was trying not to look at you. His eyes widen slightly. Do you know what the worst part of the last 3 years has been? My voice shakes now. Not the lying, not the fear of getting caught. It's been the moments when I forgot. Forgot what? Why I was there. The admission tastes like betrayal. You'd bring me coffee exactly how I like it without asking. You'd remember my sister's death anniversary and give me space without making me explain. You'd cancel important meetings because you noticed I was getting sick and you didn't want me to push myself. I press my palms against my eyes, trying to hold it together. You made it impossible to just hate you, and that made everything harder. I drop my hands, meet his gaze. Because every time you showed me a glimpse of the person you could be, the person under the monster, I felt like I was betraying Maria all over again. You weren't betraying her. His voice is rough. You were surviving. Was I? Or was I just falling for the man who represents everything that killed her? I didn't kill your sister. No, but you're part of the machine that did. You take money from those politicians. You do their dirty work. You look the other way when they... Not anymore. He cuts me off. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I want out. I've wanted out since I was 17 and realized my father's business partners were the same judges sending innocent people to prison. He pulls out another folder. This one is thicker. My younger brother, Marco, he wanted to leave the family, threatened to expose the political connections. His hand trembles slightly on the folder. They found him dead in his apartment, ruled it a suicide. He was 19 years old and terrified of heights, but supposedly he jumped from his balcony. Vittorio, your sister Maria. He opens another file. I pulled the real police report, the one that got buried. The shooter was aiming for Councilman Rodriguez's assistant because she'd agreed to testify about bribes. Maria looked like her. Wrong woman, wrong dress, right political cover-up. He slides the report across to me. Details I never found. Witness statements that were suppressed. Evidence that Rodriguez himself ordered the hit. I've been collecting this for 2 years, he says. Evidence against everyone who uses my family as weapons while staying clean themselves. I was going to use it as leverage, insurance, a way to finally break free. And then I showed up. And then you showed up. A ghost of a smile. With your fake resume and your real mission and your sister's death driving every move you made. And I realized you were doing what I was too much of a coward to do. You were actually trying to burn it down. So you helped me. So I helped you, and fell in love with you in the process. He steps back, giving me space. Which is inconvenient timing, I'll admit. Despite everything, despite the chaos and the danger and the absolute insanity of this moment, I almost laugh. Inconvenient, I repeat. That's one word for it. His phone explodes with alerts, both of our phones actually, message after message flooding in. He checks his screen and his expression goes dark. Raphael's moving faster than I thought. He's taking out my men systematically, and he's not working alone. What do you mean? He shows me his phone. Security footage from locations across the city. Raphael's people hitting Marchetti operations, but they're not alone. There are police with them. Uniformed officers helping with the raids. The police captain, I breathe. He's backing Raphael's coup. Not just him. Vittorio pulls up more footage. 2 senators, a federal judge. They're all there. They're not here to arrest anyone. They're here to eliminate anyone who knows too much. He looks at me, and for the first time since I've known him, I see real fear in his eyes. They're coming for both of us, Isadora. Raphael knows you've been accessing my files. He's going to tell them you're the leak, and they can't afford to let either of us survive. My phone buzzes. Agent Chen. Get out now. Your cover is blown. Raphael leaked your identity. Extraction is compromised. You're on your own. The floor seems to drop out from under me. What do we do? I ask. Vittorio holsters his gun, grabs a go bag from behind his desk. We run, together, or we die separately. Your choice. I look at the door. At freedom and evidence and the mission I've spent 3 years building, at the promise I made to Maria's memory. Then I look at Vittorio, at the man who helped me hunt the people who killed his brother and my sister, at the monster who fell in love with his own destruction. Together, I hear myself say. He holds out his hand. I take it. And together we run toward the only exit that hasn't been blocked, the private tunnels beneath his building, built by his grandfather during Prohibition, running toward an uncertain future where we're both wanted by the law and the criminals alike. His hand is warm in mine, solid, real. Behind us, I hear the elevator ding, voices shouting, boots on marble floors. Stay close to me, he says. Where else would I go? We disappear into the darkness of the tunnels, leaving behind everything we were. The woman in gray, the wolf in a suit. Just 2 people who wanted the same thing, to cut the leash and finally breathe free, even if it kills us both. I drop my purse, pull out the recording device from the gala, and throw it to Vittorio. Raphael's planning to frame you for Senator Morrison's murder. It happens in 40 minutes. He catches it one-handed, doesn't question how I know. Morrison's at the harbor warehouse. Raphael told me he wanted to meet about the shipping contracts. It's a setup. I'm already moving, yanking off my heels. Raphael has 3 witnesses ready to place you at the scene. The senator gets killed, you take the fall, and the police captain discovers evidence of you ordering political assassinations. The tunnel is cold concrete and 100-year-old brick. Water drips somewhere in the darkness. Vittorio pulls out a flashlight, and the beam cuts through shadows that probably haven't seen light in decades. How do you know the timeline? He's leading us deeper, one hand on the wall, navigating from memory. I heard him on the phone at the gala. He thought I was just another pretty face, so he didn't bother hiding. I follow close behind, the hem of my dress dragging through puddles. He's been planning this for months. You knowing about it tonight moved up his schedule. Because of you. Because I made him realize you were compromised. The words taste bitter. He saw the way you looked at me, saw weakness he could exploit. Vittorio stops so suddenly I nearly crash into him. In the flashlight beam, his face is all sharp angles and shadows. Looking at you isn't weakness, he says quietly. It's the first honest thing I've done in years. Footsteps echo from the tunnel entrance behind us, shouting. The sound of police radios crackling. We run. The tunnel branches and branches again. Vittorio takes turns without hesitation, and I realize he's been down here before. Maybe as a kid, exploring his family's empire. Maybe as a man, planning escape routes he hoped he'd never need. Where does this lead? I gasp out. Service entrance 3 blocks from here. My car is... Gunfire erupts behind us. Bullets spark off the brick walls. Vittorio shoves me into a side passage, his body covering mine as debris rains down. His jacket smells like cologne and copper and smoke. His heart hammers against my back, matching my own frantic rhythm. They're not trying to arrest us, I manage. No. His voice is grim. They're trying to erase us. More gunfire, closer now. We stumble forward through the darkness, and I lose track of time. Could be 5 minutes, could be 50. All I know is running and breathing and the feeling of Vittorio's hand gripping mine, pulling me forward when I stumble. Finally, mercifully, there's a ladder. Rusted metal leading up to a grate. Vittorio climbs first, muscles straining as he forces the grate open. It screams in protest. Decades of rust fighting against us, but it gives. He pulls himself up, then reaches down for me. His hand closes around my wrist. He pulls, and I'm climbing, and then we're out, emerging in an alley that smells like garbage and rain. The crimson dress is ruined, covered in mud and God knows what else from the tunnel water. But we're alive. We're alive, and his car is exactly where he said it would be, tucked behind a dumpster 3 blocks over. A black sedan that looks ordinary enough to be invisible. Get in. He's already moving, keys in hand. I slide into the passenger seat as sirens wail in the distance. Getting closer, always closer. Vittorio drives like he's done this before. Fast but not reckless, taking back streets and shortcuts. His knuckles are white on the steering wheel. Where are we going? Safe house on the west side. One of my men set it up years ago off the books. Raphael doesn't know about it. He glances at me, and I see blood on his temple. You're hurt. So are you. I've had worse. We drive in silence for a while. The city passes by in streaks of light and shadow. Somewhere out there, Raphael is murdering a senator and framing Vittorio for it. Somewhere out there, Agent Chen is trying to figure out how her investigation went sideways. Somewhere out there, corrupt politicians are breathing easier, thinking they've eliminated the threat. I should hate you, I say into the silence. Vittorio doesn't look away from the road. You should. But I'm still here. Yeah. His voice is rough. You are. The safe house is a studio apartment above a Korean grocery store. Small, clean, anonymous. The kind of place you'd never look twice at. Inside, there's a first aid kit under the sink and clothes that don't quite fit either of us. Vittorio strips off his blood-stained shirt, and I see scars I've never noticed before. a constellation of old violence across his back and ribs. Who did that to you? The question escapes before I can stop it. He freezes, shirt halfway off. My father, teaching me what happens when you show weakness. I move closer, fingers hovering over the worst scar, a thick line across his shoulder blade. How old were you? 15. I tried to help a kid who was being beaten by his men. My father said mercy was weakness, and weakness was death. I press my palm flat against the scar. His skin is warm. He shivers. You're not your father, I tell him. I've spent 20 years trying to prove that. He turns to face me, and we're too close in the small space. Not sure I've succeeded. You helped me. For over a year, you helped me build a case that would destroy you. Or maybe I just used you to destroy the people I hate more than myself. Does it matter? I'm so tired suddenly, bone-deep exhaustion hitting like a wave. We're both here. We both want the same thing. What's that? Justice. I meet his eyes. For your brother, for my sister, for everyone caught in the crossfire while powerful men play games. He reaches up, fingers barely touching my cheek. You have blood on your face. Whose? I don't know. The moment stretches between us, fragile and dangerous. Outside, sirens wail. Inside, it's just us, and 3 years of lies and truths tangled together. I need to check your wound, I say, stepping back, creating space before I do something stupid. It's fine. Vittorio? I've been shot before. I know it needs stitches. But he sits anyway, and I clean the cut on his temple with hands that shake slightly. He watches my face the entire time, and I try to ignore how that makes me feel. Thank you, he says quietly, for staying, for not running when you had the chance. I'm still not sure why I stayed. Liar. I press the antiseptic too hard and he winces. Careful. You told me you loved me, I say, focused on the bandage. In your office. You said you'd been in love with someone who hates everything you are. I did. That was a terrible time to confess. When's a good time to confess you love the federal agent trying to destroy you? Despite everything, I almost smile. Fair point. The bandage is done. I should move away. I don't. For the record, I hear myself say, I don't hate everything you are, just most of what you've done. His laugh is soft, surprised. That's the most romantic thing anyone's ever said to me. Your standards are concerningly low. Maybe. His hand finds mine. Or maybe I just know the difference between pretty lies and ugly truths, and you've only ever given me truth, even when it hurt. My phone buzzes. We both tense, but it's just a news alert. Senator Morrison found dead at Harbor Warehouse. Police seeking Vittorio Marchetti for questioning. It's done, Vittorio says flatly. Raphael framed me. Now he takes over, and everyone who knows the truth about the political connections disappears. Not everyone. I pull up my phone, open the encrypted app. I uploaded everything to the European journalist before we left your office. Set it on a dead man's switch. If I don't check in every 12 hours, it publishes automatically. His eyes widen. You protected the evidence. Always protect the evidence. First rule of investigation. I show him the timer. 11 hours. 47 minutes until publication. We have less than 12 hours to stay alive. After that, the whole world knows what we know. Raphael will figure it out. He'll come for you. Let him come. My voice is steadier than I feel. I'm done running. I'm done hiding. He wants to eliminate the threat. Fine. But I'm not going quietly. Vittorio stares at me like I'm something incredible and terrifying. You're insane. Says the mob boss who helped a federal agent destroy his empire. Fair point. His phone rings. Unknown number. He answers on speaker. Vittorio. Raphael's voice is smooth as poison. I assume you've seen the news. Tragic about the senator. The police found some very interesting evidence in your office. Communications about eliminating political threats. Funny how that works. What do you want, Raphael? What I've always wanted. Your organization, your connections, your territory. A pause. But now I want something else too. Your pretty assistant, the one who's been so helpful accessing your files. My blood runs cold. Isadora surrenders with all the evidence she's collected, and I let this end cleanly. You can run. I don't care about you anymore. I only want the woman who can destroy us all. His voice hardens. You have until dawn. After that, I start killing everyone you've ever protected, starting with the nephews. The call ends. Vittorio's face has gone white. My sister's kids. He has them. He's bluffing. But his phone pings with a photo. 2 boys, 12 and 8, terrified and bound in the back of a van. He's not bluffing. Vittorio's voice cracks. Isadora, he has them. I stare at the photo. At 2 children who've done nothing wrong except be related to the wrong person. I'll go, I say immediately. No. They're children. And you're everything. He grabs my shoulders. You think I'd trade you for anything? Even them? So you'd let children die? I'd let the world burn before I let him touch you. The words hang between us, raw and terrible and honest. This is exactly why this can't work, I say quietly. You'd sacrifice innocence. I can't. That's the difference between us. Then what's the difference between you and the people you're trying to destroy? They sacrificed your sister for political convenience. You'd sacrifice yourself for moral superiority. Either way, someone dies. The argument cuts deep because he's not entirely wrong. My phone buzzes again. Another message from Raphael. 4 hours. Harbor warehouse. Come alone, bring the evidence, or the boys die slowly. I look at Vittorio, at the man who helped me hunt corruption and fell in love with his own destruction, at the monster who won't sacrifice children but won't let me go. I'm going, I tell him, with or without your permission. Then you're going with me. His voice is final. We do this together, or not at all. He'll kill us both. Probably. Vittorio's smile is bitter. But at least we'll die honest. No more lies, no more pretending. Just 2 people who wanted the same thing and burned everything down trying to get it. Outside, dawn is still hours away. Inside, we plan how to walk into a trap we know we won't survive. Because sometimes the right choice isn't the smart choice. Sometimes it's just the only choice you can live with, even if living with it means dying for it. In a veterinarian's office after hours, I'm stitching Vittorio's wound with thread meant for dogs, while he grips the examination table and doesn't make a sound. But his eyes never leave my face. This is going to scar, I tell him, pulling another stitch tight. I have others. I noticed. The vet is a woman named Rosa, who apparently owes Vittorio a favor from years ago. She let us in through the back door without questions, handed me supplies, and disappeared into her office with instructions to lock up when we're done. The building smells like antiseptic and pet food. There's a poster on the wall showing proper cat dental care. Somewhere in the distance, a dog whimpers in its sleep. It's the most surreal moment of my life, and I've had a lot of them lately. You're good at this, Vittorio observes as I tie off the last stitch. My sister wanted to be a doctor before she switched to education. She used to practice on me. The memory surfaces without permission. I was her guinea pig for bandaging techniques and splints. Were you close? We were all we had. I clean the excess blood away, careful not to disturb my work. Our parents died when I was 19. Car accident. Maria was 17. We took care of each other. I'm sorry. For what? You didn't kill them. I meet his eyes. You just killed the only family I had left. He flinches like I've struck him. I didn't. I know. I cut him off gently. I know you didn't pull the trigger. But you're part of the machine that did. And I don't know how to reconcile that with the fact that you're bleeding on a veterinary table while I sew you back together. You don't have to reconcile it. His voice is quiet. You just have to survive the next few hours. After that, you can hate me properly. I finish bandaging his shoulder, and my hands linger longer than necessary. His skin is warm under my fingers. Alive. We need a plan, I say, stepping back, creating distance. Walking into Raphael's trap without one is suicide. You have a better idea? Actually, yes. I pull out my phone, open the encrypted connection to the European journalist. We give him what he wants. Vittorio's eyebrows rise. The evidence? Fake evidence. I'm already typing. We create files that look real, but lead nowhere. Corrupted data, dead ends. Meanwhile, the real evidence stays on the dead man's switch. He'll check it. His tech people aren't stupid. They don't have to be stupid. They just have to be rushed. I show him what I'm building. Files that look legitimate on the surface, but fall apart under scrutiny. We show up at dawn with this. He takes it, thinks he's won, kills us anyway because that's what men like him do. But by then, we've bought enough time for the real evidence to publish. So we die, but the truth lives on. He says it without emotion. Very heroic. You have a better plan? Several. Most involve you not dying. Name one that doesn't require sacrificing those children. He can't. We both know it. The silence stretches between us, heavy with unspoken things. There's a motel 6 blocks from here, Vittorio says finally. We can hide there until dawn. Plan this properly instead of making it up as we go. Planning properly requires resources we don't have. I have resources, people who are still loyal. I can make calls and lead Raphael right to us. I shake my head. Everyone in your organization is compromised. The police are compromised. We're alone, Vittorio. Just us. The weight of that truth settles over the room. Just us. A mob boss and a federal agent who fell for each other while trying to destroy the same enemy. No backup, no extraction, no good options. The motel, he says again. At least there, we're not surrounded by pet medicine. Despite everything, I laugh. It comes out slightly hysterical, but it's real. Fine. The motel? But we're not dying tomorrow without a fight. Wouldn't dream of it. The motel is exactly as depressing as expected. Peeling wallpaper, carpet that's seen better decades, a bed with a comforter that's more stained than fabric. There's only one bed. We both stare at it. I can take the floor, Vittorio offers. You have a bullet wound. You're taking the bed. Isadora. Don't argue with me about this. I'm already pulling the one chair in the room toward the window. I'll keep watch. But he doesn't move toward the bed. He just stands there in clothes that don't quite fit. Shirt borrowed from his go bag. Jeans Rose's nephew left at the clinic months ago. Can I ask you something? His voice is careful. You can ask. I might not answer. That dress at the gala. He's not looking at me. Was it really just for the mission? Or did some part of you want me to finally see you? The question lands like a punch. I could lie. Should lie. But I'm so tired of lies. I wanted everyone to see me, I admit, including you, especially you. The confession tastes like betrayal. 3 years of being invisible, and I wanted one night where I existed as something other than wallpaper. You were never wallpaper to me. I know. That's what made it worse. I sink into the chair, suddenly exhausted. Do you know how many times I almost forgot? Why I was there, what I was doing. You'd do something thoughtful, bring me coffee the way I like it without asking, or remember my sister's death anniversary and give me space without questions, and I'd forget for just a moment that I was supposed to be destroying you. That sounds lonely. It was. But it was also necessary. You can't afford feelings when you're undercover. Feelings get you killed or compromised, and I couldn't be either, not when I was so close. Vittorio moves to the bed, sits on the edge. The mattress springs protest. You want to know something? He looks at me finally. Every time I did something nice for you, the coffee, the time off, the Christmas bonuses, I knew I was making it harder for you. I knew I was complicating your mission, but I couldn't stop myself. Why not? Because you looked at me like I was human. His voice goes rough. Everyone else in my world sees the wolf, the monster, the man who inherited an empire built on blood. But you, even when you hated me, even when you were gathering evidence to destroy me, you still saw a person underneath. I didn't want to see that person, I tell him honestly. It would have been easier if you were just a monster. Monsters are easy to destroy. But people? People are complicated. Is that what I am to you? Complicated. The question hangs between us, loaded with 3 years of history and 1 night of confessions. You're impossible, I say finally. You're a criminal who helped me build a case against criminals. A monster who showed me kindness. A man trapped in his father's empire who wants to burn it down. You're every contradiction I've ever met wrapped into one person, and I don't know what to do with that. You could start by getting some sleep. I told you, I'm keeping watch. Isadora. He pats the bed beside him. There's no one to keep watch for. Raphael knows where we'll be at dawn. Until then, we're just 2 people hiding in a mosa. Chapter 5. The Devil's Bargain. Completion. Completing from Isadora. He pats the bed beside him. There's no one to keep watch for. Isadora. He pats the bed beside him. There's no one to keep watch for. Raphael knows where we'll be at dawn. Until then, we're just 2 people hiding in a motel room, pretending we're not both terrified. The honesty in his voice undoes me. I move to the bed, sit beside him, careful to maintain distance. But the mattress dips us toward each other anyway, gravity doing what we won't allow ourselves to do. I am terrified, I admit, not of dying, but of dying without finishing this, without making sure Maria's death meant something. It already means something. His hand finds mine in the space between us. You've exposed corruption most people don't even know exists. When that evidence publishes tomorrow, everything changes. If we're not there to see it, does that matter? The truth doesn't need us to survive it. I look at our hands, his scarred and calloused, mine steady despite the trembling in my chest. When did you know? That you loved me, I mean. He's quiet for a long moment. There wasn't one moment. It was 1,000 small ones. The way you'd bite your lip when you were concentrating, how you'd straighten the papers on my desk even though I'd just messed them up again. The time you told off one of my men for making a sexist comment, and you did it so calmly he didn't even realize he'd been eviscerated until you walked away. A smile tugs at my mouth despite everything. I remember that. He called me sweetheart. You told him you'd be his sweetheart when he learned to use spell check on his own reports. He deserved it. He did. Vittorio's thumb traces circles on my palm. But it was more than that. It was watching you carry grief like armor. Watching you show up every day to work beside the people you blamed for your sister's death, and never once letting it break you. That kind of strength. I've never seen anything like it. My throat tightens. I broke plenty. Just not where anyone could see. I know. I heard you crying in the bathroom once, 6 months into your assignment. You didn't know I was still in the office. His voice drops. It took everything in me not to knock on that door and tell you it would be okay. But I couldn't, because I was the reason you were crying. The confession hits me hard. All those moments I thought I was alone with my grief. He'd been there, witnessing it, carrying it with me. You're right, I say quietly. You are impossible. We sit in silence, hands intertwined, while the clock ticks toward dawn, toward a meeting we both know is a death sentence, toward the end of everything we've built and everything we've become. Isadora? His voice is barely a whisper. Yeah? If we die tomorrow. When we die tomorrow. Fine. When we die tomorrow. He turns to face me, and his eyes hold everything he's never said. I don't want to die wondering what this could have been. My heart stutters. Vittorio? I know all the reasons this is a terrible idea. I know you hate what I represent and what I've done. I know I don't deserve even a moment of your time, let alone. He stops, jaw clenching. But we have hours, maybe 8 hours before we walk into that warehouse and don't walk out, and I don't want to spend them pretending there's nothing between us. There is something between us, I admit. 3 years of something I've been trying not to name. Name it now. The dare hangs in the air. Name it. Give voice to the feeling that's been growing like a weed through concrete. Unwanted, unstoppable, undeniable. I don't know if it's love, I say carefully. I don't know if I'm capable of loving someone who represents everything that destroyed my sister. But it's something. It's been something since you brought me coffee that first week and remembered I take it black. Since you covered for me when I showed up late because I'd been crying at Maria's grave. Since you looked at me like I mattered, even when I was just supposed to be invisible. You were never just anything to me. The words break something open in my chest. I close the distance between us. My hand finds his face, rough with stubble, warm, alive. His breath catches. If we do this, I whisper, it doesn't change what happens tomorrow. It doesn't make you less guilty or me less determined to see justice done. It doesn't fix anything. I know. It's just, I struggle for words. It's just us, for tonight, being honest about what we are instead of what we're supposed to be. What are we? Two people who should hate each other. I lean closer, but don't. He kisses me. It's not gentle. It's 3 years of denial and anger and impossible feelings crashing together. His hands tangle in my ruined hair. Mine grip his shirt, careful of his wound, pulling him closer despite every reason not to. We fall back onto the bed, and the kiss deepens, desperate and fierce and edged with the knowledge that this is all we get. Hours, maybe less. Stolen time in a cheap motel while the world hunts us. When we break apart, both breathing hard, his forehead rests against mine. I'm sorry, he says. For what? For being who I am. For the empire I inherited and the choices I made. For not being someone you could love without complications. I'm sorry, too. My fingers trace the scar on his shoulder, the one his father gave him for showing mercy. For not being able to separate you from the system that killed Maria. For hating you and wanting you at the same time. For taking 3 years to admit that maybe you're not the villain in this story. Maybe we both are. Or maybe we're both just trying to survive something bigger than us. Maybe, he agrees. We shed the borrowed clothes carefully, mindful of injuries and exhaustion. And then it's just skin and scars and honesty, the kind that only comes when you have nothing left to lose. Afterward, we lie tangled in cheap sheets, and he traces the curve of my shoulder like he's memorizing it. Tell me something true, he says, something you've never told anyone. I think about all my truths, all my lies, all the versions of myself I've worn like masks. Sometimes, I admit, I'm not sure Maria would want this. The revenge, the vendetta. She was always the forgiving one, the one who believed in second chances. My voice cracks. I'm terrified that I'm doing all of this, destroying everything, putting everyone at risk, and she'd just want me to let it go and be happy. His arms tighten around me. You want to know what I think? What? I think she'd want you to finish it. Not for revenge, but because it's right. Because corruption and violence shouldn't be protected by expensive suits and political connections. He kisses my temple. And I think she'd forgive you for being human, for falling for someone complicated, for taking 3 years to grieve while also fighting. Tears I've been holding back for so long finally fall. He holds me while I cry. For Maria, for the life I lost when she died, for the impossible situation we're in. And maybe for him too. For the man trapped in his father's shadow, trying to cut himself free even if it kills him. When the tears finally stop, dawn is creeping through the curtains. We should go, I say, not moving. Not yet. His voice is rough. 5 more minutes. Give me 5 more minutes of this. So we stay. 5 minutes becomes 10, becomes 20, holding each other in the gray light of morning like we can stop time through sheer force of will. Finally, inevitably, his phone alarm goes off. Reality crashes back. We dress in silence. Me in borrowed clothes, him in his blood-stained shirt because it's all we have. The fake evidence is ready on my phone. The real evidence sits on its dead man's switch, counting down to publication. You ready? He asks. No. I check my gun, the one I've carried for 3 years, loaded with bullets I hoped I'd never fire. But let's go anyway. We walk out of the motel into the cold morning air. His car is where we left it, windows frosted over. He opens my door first. Always the gentleman, even at the end of the world. Vittorio? I stop him before he can close the door. Yeah? If we somehow survive this... I don't finish the thought. Can't finish it, because survival seems impossible and hope seems cruel. But he understands anyway. If we survive, we figure it out. Together. Whatever that looks like. Even though I'm the agent who destroyed your empire. Especially because of that. His smile is sad. You're the only person who's ever seen me and still thought I was worth saving. That's not something I'm letting go of, not without a fight. I pull him down for one more kiss. Brief, desperate, a promise or a goodbye, maybe both. Then we drive toward the harbor warehouse where Raphael is waiting with children as hostages and murder in his eyes, toward the end of one story and maybe, impossibly, the beginning of another. If you're enjoying the story, drop a comment and tell us where you're watching from. We love to hear from our viewers across the world. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss amazing stories like this. Vittorio's mother loads a shotgun with practiced ease. Raphael's not the only one who knows you'd come to me. Caterina Marchetti stands in the doorway of her coastal cottage, gray hair pulled back, eyes identical to her son's. The politicians know too, and they're far more dangerous than some ambitious underboss. We'd driven 3 hours north after leaving the motel, taking back roads and avoiding every camera we could spot. Vittorio had made one call from a burner phone, brief, cryptic. His mother hadn't asked questions, just gave an address and told us to come alone. Now we stand in her kitchen that smells like bread and lavender, and she's checking ammunition like it's a Tuesday morning routine. Mama, Vittorio starts, but she cuts him off. Don't mama me. I left that world to escape this exact scenario. She sets the shotgun down, finally looks at him properly. You look like hell. Who patched that shoulder? I did, I offer quietly. Her sharp eyes land on me. You're the girl, the one he called about 2 years ago, drunk and miserable, saying he'd met someone who would probably destroy him. Heat creeps up my neck. He said that? He said a lot of things that night. Caterina moves to her stove, starts making coffee like we're not running for our lives. Sit, both of you. You look ready to collapse. We sit at her kitchen table, scarred wood that's probably older than I am. Through the window, I can see the ocean crashing against rocks. It's beautiful in a violent way. Raphael has my nephews, Vittorio says without preamble. Lorenzo and Marco. He's using them as leverage to get Isadora and the evidence she's collected. Caterina's hands still on the coffee pot. When? This morning. Dawn. Harbor warehouse. And you came here instead of going to them. It's not a question. Why? The tunnels. Vittorio's voice is flat. You're the only one who knows about the old smuggling routes, the ones even Father didn't use. If we can get to Vienna... The journalist, I add. She'll publish everything. Raphael can kill us, but the truth will still come out. Caterina pours 3 cups of coffee, sits down with a heaviness that suggests she's carrying more than her own weight. There's something you should know. She wraps her hands around her cup. About Raphael and those children. He didn't just take them this morning. He's had them for 3 days. Vittorio's face goes white. What? He came here 6 days ago, said he'd been watching my daughter's family, knew exactly where the boys went to school, what route they walked home. Her voice is steady, but I hear the tremor underneath. He wanted information about your safe houses, your resources, your escape plans, and he wanted me to call him the moment you showed up here. Mama, I didn't want to. The words come fast now, desperate. Vittorio, you have to understand. He showed me photos. The boys getting ice cream, playing soccer, walking into their house. He knew everything about them, and he said if I didn't help him, he'd make them disappear slowly, painfully. Silence crashes over the kitchen. Did you call him? Vittorio's voice is barely above a whisper. Caterina's eyes fill with tears. He told me to call the moment you arrived. That was 20 minutes ago. The words land like bullets. Vittorio stands so fast his chair falls backward. We need to leave, now. But I'm already at the window, and my heart sinks. Too late. Cars are rolling up the gravel drive. Black SUVs with tinted windows, at least 4 of them. The tunnels, Caterina says urgently, moving to a cabinet. She pulls out weapons I didn't know were there. Guns, ammunition, 2 bulletproof vests. Beneath the cottage. Father Marchetti built them during Prohibition, same as the city tunnels. They lead to a private dock 2 miles down the coast. They'll search the cottage, I say. They'll find the entrance. Not if I give them a reason to stay here. Caterina shoves the vests at us. Put these on, take the supplies, and go. I'm not leaving you to... You're not leaving me to anything. Her voice goes hard. I've made plenty of choices in my life, Vittorio. Marrying your father. Staying in that world long after I should have left. Looking away from things I should have stopped. She touches his face, and it's heartbreaking in its tenderness. Let me make one good choice. Let me buy you time. Footsteps on the porch. Voices shouting. Vittorio grabs his mother's hands. I can't lose you too. You won't. I'm tougher than I look. She pulls open a trap door hidden beneath a rug near the pantry. Besides, they want you to, not me. I'm just an old woman who made a mistake trusting the wrong person. They'll question me and leave. We both know that's a lie. Mama! Go! She pushes us toward the opening. Before I change my mind and shoot you both myself for making me worry these past 3 years. The trapdoor leads to darkness. Cold air rises from below. Vittorio hesitates, torn between running and staying. She's right, I tell him quietly, hating myself for the words. We can't help those children if we're dead, and your mother is giving us the only chance we have. The front door explodes inward. Wood splinters. Men pour into the cottage. Caterina raises her shotgun. You boys want to tell me why you're breaking into an old woman's house? Raphael's voice smooth as poison. We're looking for your son, Mrs. Marchetti, and his friend. We know they're here. Well, you're welcome to look, but you'll do it politely, or I'll put a hole in someone's nice suit. I grab Vittorio's arm, pull him toward the trapdoor. He's frozen, watching his mother face down armed men with nothing but a shotgun in fury. Vittorio, I whisper urgently, she's doing this for you. Don't make it meaningless. That breaks through. He climbs into the darkness, and I follow, pulling the trapdoor closed just as footsteps thunder overhead. The tunnel is narrow, damp, carved through rock. We can hear everything above us. Raphael questioning Caterina, furniture being overturned, systematic searching. Then, horrifically, a gunshot. Vittorio freezes, turns back toward the trapdoor. I grab him. No, we keep moving. They shot her. We don't know that. It could have been warning fire, could have been her shotgun. I'm pulling him forward, even though my own heart is screaming. But if you go back now, you make her sacrifice meaningless. He's shaking. I've never seen him shake before, not even facing down death in the city tunnels, not even bleeding in a veterinary clinic. But the thought of his mother dying because she protected him breaks something fundamental. Move, I order, my voice harder than I knew I could make it. Grieve later. Survive now. We stumble through the tunnel, and I count our breaths to keep him moving. 100 breaths. 200. The passage branches and branches again. Vittorio navigates on autopilot, muscle memory from childhood. Behind us, the sounds of searching fade. Either they haven't found the tunnel entrance, or they're holding position, waiting. Stop! Vittorio's voice is hollow. He leans against the tunnel wall, and in the flashlight beam, I see tears on his face. We need to stop. We can't. Please. It comes out broken. Just for a minute. I need a minute. So we stop. And in the darkness of a smuggling tunnel built by his grandfather, Vittorio Marchetti, the wolf, the monster, the man who never shows weakness, cries for his mother. I hold him because it's the only thing I can do. Because he held me when I cried for Maria. Because we're both people who've lost too much to this war we didn't start but can't stop fighting. I should have protected her, he gasps out. I should have known he'd use her. I should have. You couldn't have known. I could have stayed away, kept her out of this. But I came to her because I was desperate and stupid and human. I tilt his face up, make him look at me. You came to her because you're human, and humans need their mothers, especially when the world is falling apart. She protected me my whole life, from my father, from the business, from myself, and I repaid her by bringing war to her doorstep. She made a choice. She's been making choices her whole life, and this was hers. The words hurt to say. Honor that choice by surviving, by finishing what we started, by making sure the children she tried to save actually get saved. He breathes through the pain, and gradually he steadies. Okay, he says finally. Okay, we keep moving. The tunnel eventually opens to the ocean, a private dock hidden in a cove, exactly as Katerina described. There's a small boat tied up, nothing fancy, but enough to get us to international waters. Vittorio's phone buzzes. Unknown number. He answers on speaker. Vittorio, Raphael's voice. Your mother is very brave, also very dead, which is unfortunate because I liked her bread. The cruelty is casual, deliberate, designed to break. Vittorio's face goes blank. The grief transforms into something colder, harder. I'm going to kill you, he says quietly. You're going to try. But first, you're going to bring me Isadora and that evidence. Because if you don't, I start sending you pieces of your nephews, starting with their fingers, one every hour. How do I know they're still alive? A video loads on his phone. 2 boys, terrified but unharmed. The timestamp shows it's current. You have until noon. Harbor warehouse, just like we agreed, though now I think the price has gone up. You come too, Vittorio, both of you, or the boys die screaming. The call ends. We stand on the dock as the sun rises over the ocean, painting everything gold and red. We need a new plan, I say. The fake evidence won't work now. He's too angry. He'll check it carefully and kill us the moment he realizes it's worthless. So we give him the real evidence. Vittorio's voice is ice. That's suicide. The moment it's in his hands, we're dead, and so is any chance of exposing the corruption. Then we don't let it get into his hands. I understand then. The dead man's switch. We let the timer run out during the exchange. Exactly. We show up at noon. We give him access to the files. But the files publish at 12:15 whether we're alive or dead. His eyes meet mine. We save the children. The truth comes out. Raphael and every corrupt politician he works with goes down. And we die. Probably. His smile is bitter. But at least we die having saved someone. That's more than either of us thought we'd get. My phone shows the dead man's switch. 4 hours, 17 minutes until publication. If we show up at noon, we have 15 minutes to save 2 children and get out before the evidence goes live, and every corrupt official in the city knows exactly where we are. It's impossible timing, suicide odds, but it's the only play we have left. I'm sorry, I tell him, about your mother, about all of this. So am I. He looks at the ocean, endless and blue and indifferent to human suffering. But she'd want us to finish it, to save those children and burn down the system that made monsters like Raphael possible. We load the boat with supplies, check our weapons, set the dead man's switch to publish at 12:15 p.m., and we head toward the harbor where 2 children are waiting to be saved by people who probably won't survive saving them. The ocean spray hits my face, cold and sharp. Vittorio pilots the boat with steady hands, even though I know he's breaking inside. "Hey," I say over the engine noise. "Yeah? Whatever happens in that warehouse, thank you for helping me, for seeing me, for being someone worth falling for, even though the timing is catastrophically terrible." He looks at me then, really looks, and something in his expression softens. "When this is over, if we somehow survive, we're getting you a dress that isn't ruined, a red one, and I'm taking you somewhere nice where no one wants to kill us." That sounds perfect. It won't be. I'm terrible at dates. I'll probably spend the whole time checking exits and identifying potential threats. I'll do the same thing. We'll be the most paranoid couple in the restaurant. We both smile, even though it hurts. The harbor comes into view. Warehouses line the waterfront like tombstones. We dock at a pier 3 buildings away from Raphael's location. Move through shadows and shipping containers, getting into position. 11:47 a.m. 13 minutes until we're supposed to walk through those warehouse doors. 28 minutes until the evidence publishes and everything explodes. I check my gun one last time. Vittorio does the same. "Ready?" he asks. "No." I take his hand. "But let's save some children anyway." We walk toward the warehouse, and every step feels like counting down to 0. Behind us, the boat rocks at the dock. Our escape route if we survive the next hour. Ahead of us, Raphael is waiting with murder in his eyes, and 2 innocent children who don't deserve to be pawns in our war. The warehouse door looms. Vittorio squeezes my hand once. Together. Together, I agree, and we step into the darkness. Silence. Then my whisper in the darkness. "Vittorio?" His broken response. I'm here. We're both alive. Impossibly, miraculously alive. The warehouse is carnage, bodies everywhere. Raphael's men, corrupt police, the senator's bodyguards, and Raphael himself, face down in a pool of blood with 2 bullets in his chest. Vittorio fired both shots. I watched him do it with steady hands and empty eyes. The children huddle in the corner where we found them, Lorenzo and Marco, terrified but unharmed. When the shooting started, Vittorio had shielded them with his body while I provided covering fire. We'd planned for 15 minutes. The fight lasted 8, but we're alive. All 4 of us are alive. "Is it over?" Lorenzo asks. He's 12, trying to be brave. "Can we go home now?" "Almost," I tell him gently. "Almost over." My phone shows 12:16 p.m. The dead man's switch triggered 1 minute ago. Across the world, files are uploading to news organizations, to the International Criminal Court, to the European journalist who's been waiting for this moment. 3 years of evidence, going live for everyone to see. Bank records, audio recordings, photographs, testimonies, names, dates, transactions, every corrupt politician, every bribed official, every dirty deal that kept the machine running. Sirens wail in the distance, but these aren't Raphael's corrupted police. These are federal agents who actually want justice. Agent Chen appears in the warehouse doorway, weapon drawn, face shocked. "Isadora." "Hey, Sarah. I'm so tired. Sorry I missed check-in." "You missed." She looks around at the bodies. "What happened here?" "Raphael tried to kill us. We disagreed." I gesture to the children. "They need medical attention. Traumatized, but physically okay." Chen radios for EMTs, then focuses on Vittorio. "Mr. Marchetti, you're under arrest." "I know." He's still holding his nephew. "I'll come quietly. Just let me make sure they're safe first." "Vittorio saved them," I tell Chen. "He saved the children, and he's willing to testify against everyone in those files. Full cooperation, everything he knows." Chen's expression shifts. "Everything?" "Names, dates, locations, money trails, murder for hire contracts, Political blackmail? Vittorio's voice is flat. I'll tell you all of it, in exchange for immunity and witness protection. For me and Isadora both. That's not how this... Actually, it is. My voice is sharp. You have 3 years of evidence, but you need someone on the inside to make it stick in court. Someone who can testify about how it all worked. Someone juries will believe. I step beside Vittorio. We're offering you the chance to bring down decades of corruption, but only if we both walk away alive. Chen looks between us, the mob boss and the undercover agent who fell for each other while burning down an empire. I'll need to call my superiors. Call them. But while you do, get these children somewhere safe. They've been through enough. 2 years after that, I'm walking through a coastal Portuguese town, trying to clear my head after a long day consulting on a justice case. I pass a bookshop. Something makes me look back. Through the window, a man arranging books, dark hair slightly longer, wearing a sweater and glasses I've never seen on him. My heart stops. I enter. Bells chime. He turns around, and his face breaks into the most genuine smile I've ever seen on him. Isadora? Not surprised, just relieved. You found me. How? I asked them to place you here. Took 8 months of requests, but the prosecutor agreed we'd both earned it. He steps closer. Surprise? I laugh, and it comes out slightly hysterical. You manipulative? Former criminal, he finishes. The word you're looking for is former criminal. Now, I'm just a bookshop owner who makes excellent coffee. Above the shop, an apartment with an ocean view. Our apartment, I learn. Prepared and waiting for the moment I'd finish my latest assignment and agree to stay. Since when do you plan surprises? I tease. Since I learned that life's too short not to fight for the people you love. We build something quiet, intentional, free. Mornings are coffee and reading. Evenings are cooking dinner together. Nights are falling asleep to ocean sounds with someone who sees all your scars and loves you anyway. The crimson dress hangs in our closet, a reminder of the night everything changed. One evening, he catches me, looking at it. Since when do you look at me like that? I ask, recognizing the intensity in his eyes. Since always, he replies softly. You just finally let me show it. On the counter, Maria's photo in a frame, finally at peace. Beside it, a letter from 23 families helped by my testimony. 23 lives changed because I chose to be seen. We stand at our window, watching the sunset paint the ocean gold. Do you think she'd be proud? I ask. Maria, of what we did, who we became. I think she'd be proud you found a way to heal. He pulls me close. And I think my mother would be proud we actually survived our own stubbornness. We toast to the people we lost, the people we were, the people we're becoming. They say you can't outrun your past, Vittorio murmurs against my hair. But maybe you don't have to outrun it, I finish. Maybe you just walk into your future with someone who saw the worst of you and loved you anyway. That's not redemption. No, I agree. It's grace. And it's more than either of us deserved. Which is exactly why it's ours to keep. The ocean crashes against the rocks. The sun sets. 2 people who destroyed their old lives build something real from the ruins. And in a bookshop in Portugal, the wolf finally becomes just a man, and the woman in gray finally learns to live in color. Did you enjoy the story? Drop a comment and tell us your favorite part, and take a second to like and subscribe. Your support means the world to us. See you next time on another amazing adventure filled with action and romance.